Is Austin Hollerman an egomaniac? Hey, Jason here. If you've been watching the channel, you've been seeing me go through the southern region of Africa. And most importantly, you've been seeing me talk about the three areas of life that I focus on, which are happiness, health, and wealth. And it was funny. This video is really not one that I usually do. I don't usually do too much talking about other YouTubers or other people, any type of content creators. But this one was really interesting to me because I found this channel and I don't think sometimes people know what words actually mean when they're using them. And I think a lot of us are confused in this world. When I say confused, I mean we don't understand what it really takes to get success, whatever amount of success that we want in our lives. And because of this confusion, we're misusing and miscategorizing people and also thinking people are negative or bad when they're really not. They're doing exactly what they're supposed to do. And so let's go ahead and get into today's topic. And today's topic is Austin Holloman, is he an egomaniac? Now, I saw this video. He's a young YouTuber. I think he's from Dallas, Texas, or from Texas. I watched a few of his videos to try to see who he is and get an understanding of him. Because one thing I'll tell you, don't take stuff face value on the internet. You need to fact check everything. You need to look at the sources they're looking at and also see if it resonates with you. Even if there's things that I'm giving advice on or explaining certain parts of my story, you can fact check things. You can see like the transition in my weight loss journey from when I first started this channel. You can see that I used to be married, like there used to be a CC Cheney. You can see that I've been traveling the world. So you want to make sure you fact check anything, and especially when there's a lot of people just throwing out very specifics around towards people, because usually they're not telling the truth and they're looking at things from a very narrow perspective. And sometimes you just need to widen your perspective to see more pieces of the puzzle, especially when you're trying to analyze who a person or an individual is as a whole. And so I saw his channel. He's been traveling around the world. Like, I'm kudos to him, man. I'm happy to see a young brother out here traveling, getting all these different cultural experiences, and just doing things that, man, we got to get out of this lifestyle that we're supposed to work ourselves to death, and then one day the doors open up and we get this miraculous vacation and go to the place. I'm telling you, I seen people who did that when I went on my first cruise back in 2012, I believe. And yes, they had the time of their lives, but you know what each and every last one of those people told me? I wish I would have been here when I was your age. And so whenever I see a younger person, especially someone younger than me, traveling, touring the world, not letting these fears that a lot of this propaganda that different countries talk about on different countries, let that take over their lives or their perception of the world. And so just for him to be able to be out here traveling, kudos to him, and I feel like he's doing a great job on that and encouraging probably people within his age range to do more traveling also. So always good with that. One of my core beliefs is the more we start becoming traveled around the world, a lot of the bigotry, a lot of the hatred, a lot of the ignorances of each other will start to go away, and a lot of this negativity just going to wash away just because we're actually getting to know each other. Like, if you would have told me 3 years ago or 4 years ago that I would be in South Africa, in the southern region of Africa, and by the time 2024 come around, you'll be on your third country looking for residency and putting in for your second country for permit to stay, I would not believe you. And if you would have told me on top of that, hey, you're going to actually be able to relate to these people, have good conversations with them, I would never have believed that. I didn't even think there was English in this region, because from what they show us on TV in America, they didn't make Africa look beautiful at all. And so I didn't have plans to travel to Africa. I'm going to be honest with you. If CC didn't pass away and if I didn't ask that question to myself and South Africa popped in my head, that was divine intervention that brought me here. And so to see someone like him, he's been to Africa, he's been to what's the name of that place? Thailand, I think. Thailand or the Philippines, one of those places in Southeast Asia. He's been to Brazil, and I believe also. And I think now he's in Argentina. And so it's really good seeing someone who's traveling. He's also experiencing very vast different cultures. And so kudos to him on that part. So now to get into, is he an egomaniac? Let's talk about that part. Now, I don't like just throwing words around to make myself look better than others. I actually like to talk in a very simple words. So you don't really see me using too many big words unless I'm speaking on something that's more of I'm speaking just directly out of a scientific article or something like that. And so, what is an egomaniac? Like, you just can't call someone an egomaniac and then I'm supposed to, just because you're saying it in a negative tone, I'm supposed to be like, ooh, he's a horrible person. I didn't see a horrible person in none of his videos. I'm going to explain to you what I saw in his videos, but first, let's get into what is an egomaniac. And this is just a quick uh, Google search, and I just put in the search, what is an egomaniac? And this came from the dictionary, a person who is obsessively egotistical or self-centered. Now, one of the things I do not like with a lot of definitions that we take as truths is you cannot define a word using a base of that word. Now, what I mean by that is you, like, let's say this is egomaniac, a person who is obsessively egotistical. Either way it go, the root of that word is ego. So we're speaking about the ego here. And so one, you're saying the ego is a maniac, and then you're saying the ego is testicle. What are you saying here? Or self-centered. Now self-centered gives us a little bit more of a definition, but so before we can say what an egomaniac is, now we need to define what is egotistical. So I just opened up another search window and opened up and did a definition search of what does egotistical mean. And it said excessively conceited or absorbed in oneself, self-centered. So if egotistical is someone who is excessively conceited or absorbed in oneself, so or self-centered. So egotistical is someone who's self-centered. Let's go back to the definition of egomaniac. A person who is obsessively egotistical or self-centered. Now that we say that egotistical is pretty much someone who's self-centered too, egomaniac means it's someone who is obsessively self-centered. So what does it mean to be self-centered? Now this, you may be like, Jason, you're just doing too much here, but we really need to start doing a little bit more on the definitions that we think we know in this world. Like, I used to know back in the day, like, you couldn't tell me I didn't know what an egomaniac is. But I'm telling you right now, I didn't know what an egomaniac is. And the only reason I'm starting to figure out right now is because I'm doing this video, because this video was calling Austin Holloman an egomaniac, and I don't think they know what they're talking about. And so now I did a Google search of what does self-centered mean? Self-centered means caring only about yourself and your own interests, needs, or desires without regard for others. Okay, so an egomaniac is someone who is obsessively caring about themselves, their own interest in life, their own needs for their life, or their own desires/goals in their life, without regard for others. Now, see, this is the problem here with this definition. The without regard to others make it seem like it's something negative or that's a bad thing. The average person is going to hear that without regard to others and think that means I'm this filthy billionaire you see on the movies, like I'm dangling food over the poor people. No, that's not what that means. Without regard for others means you are focused on you. You are focused on doing the best that you can be. You are focused on what's going to progressively move your career, where you want to go, where your goals and desires are. You cannot become the best version of you worrying about what someone else is doing. It means you're becoming non-judgmental. You're not focused on what somebody else is doing with their life. You're focused on what you're doing with your life. How are you maximizing your time in this physical form? Yet, why are we being taught that being an egomaniac is a bad thing? We all should be egomaniacs. And if you've seen my previous video, I had defined the ego, I believe the ego is misdefined. The ego is not the enemy. The ego is a part of the manifestation system that is called this human body. That is what the ego is. It is the observatory system of where you see the electrical images being generated. It means this is where you're predicting your self-image based off of each different situation you're going through. This is how we have multiple personalities, multiple feelings. It's based off the ego. The self-image is observing. When Bruce Lee said, be like water, this is what he's talking about. Don't hold on to too many images as your self-image. You need to be like water. Mold to who you need to be in each and every situation that you're in. Mold into who you need to be able to grow. So you can truly live the life that you desire in this world. And just really think about this. Are you living every bit of your life right now the way you want to live it? Most of us, including me, I would say no. And maybe it's because there's even parts of me where I need to be more like an egomaniac. I might need to go see more and watch more of Austin Holloman's videos because maybe he can teach me even something about, hey, being more self-centered. How can I be more focused on me, my desires, my goals, my wants, my needs, the things I want to do in this world, how I want to show up in this world? And I think we all need to look into that. And so, I do believe the video actually, without knowing what they were doing, they actually categorized him right. They labeled him right. He is an egomaniac. Because when I saw his videos, I saw someone who was determined to be the best YouTuber they can be filming the content they're filming. I saw someone who was very caught up on how he want his brand to look at all given times. You gotta respect that. Having his custom shoes made in Kenya, I believe, having his wardrobe, he knows his brand. All of this is going into him being an egomaniac. It's a good thing. He's a goal achiever. Not one person in this world have not achieved their goals without being self-centered or being an egomaniac. Some of the most people some of the biggest people we celebrate in this world are the biggest egomaniacs. Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, Mike Tyson in his heyday. That's just to name a few. Larry Bird, Wayne Gretzky. We can keep going. We can go into soccer. We can go into MMA. All of these different people, when they were at the top of their field, they were egomaniacs. And we're taught to love and praise them, but we're taught to beat up people when they're doing it at different levels that's not on these national arenas. And so, one, I think he's doing a great job on his channel. I think he should keep it up. Just one piece of advice that I would give him, Austin Holloman, if you do see this video, and this is something that, as I was learning internet marketing, my wife and I, before she passed away, every mentor, one of the things they talked about was don't share too much of your personal stuff on camera. You need to pick and choose what people know about you. And I think you should be a little bit more selective on how much of your personal life that you're letting people see. Sometimes people don't wish you well, man. I'm going to be real with you. There's a lot of haters in this world, a lot of people who are in that negative spectrum, and the internet gives them a voice that they never had before. And most of the time, these people are actually some of your biggest fans. They just don't know how to show love. So they just show it in the way that they was probably taught to receive it, which is through negative reinforcement. And so you want to be cautious on that. Even when my wife was still alive, there was things we did not share on the internet. We didn't talk about everything. We didn't come to the internet with everything. There was certain intimate date days, things that we did just for us, while there were things we did just for filming content also. So just try to put a work-life balance in there. with your personal life, and you'll be good, brother. But keep up the great work. You're doing a great job, man, and enjoy your travels. Because I think too many of us just want to beat each other up instead of uplift each other. And you're doing a great job, man. Keep up the great work. And so I hope you really got some value from this. Even if you're just watching, we need to really start understanding the words we use. Not only type of we need to understand the words we use, all of this comes with mental health. Like, believe it or not, this is why I'm explaining and I'm walking through my journey of mental health with you, because I remember what it felt like when I just came back from war. I remember how I felt in my head, the things that was being said, the voices I could hear. Like, mental health is something that is very, very precious. And it's the next stage of evolution in my belief in humanity. Physically, we're perfected, but now we got to start perfecting some of these emotional trauma and wounds that we've been holding on to. These things are making us want to hate on one another, even create channels bad mouthing each other instead of uplifting each other and helping each other. And so I just hope you really, really take home to this one, like, egomaniac, which is a word that's always given as a negative connotation. But if you broke it down the way that I just broke it down, defining it, and defining the way they're defining it, you see, this is just being a goal achiever. I literally invested over 12,000 US dollars in a program that was teaching me just to do this, to be an egomaniac. It was literally letting me know, if I want to reach my goal, I have to burn the bridges. If I want to reach my goals, I can't be concerned on what's going on with anybody else's life. If I want to reach my goals, I can't just be out here running the streets. I have to put in the work of studying. I have to put in the work of actually researching stuff on the internet, setting up different things. Like, that, what it means to be an egomaniac is a goal achiever. And so I'm going to be working being a better egomaniac myself. So I'm so happy I actually ran across that video, and that person don't know how much they truly helped me, because it helped me, take out of a block. And we have these little wealth blocks all throughout our different forms of our psyche. Like, you'll be shocked some of the things that we hold on to that's actually keeping us held back from making the money that we truly should be making. And so just remember this, guys. I'm Jason. Success is simple once you know how.